Hi, welcome to another short video class by me, MC Ana Margarita Chavez Mendizabal. Okay, so in this class, we're going to see this important topic named the consumer behavior. So we're going to see what is this consumer behavior and why it's so important today for companies. Okay, so we're going to see in this video the importance of the consumer behavior, consumer differentiation, the retention of consumers, the design of relevant marketing, a bit of predicting market trend, competition, and innovative new products. Also, we will see why we need to stay relevant in this market. We need to improve our customer service. And I'll give a small conclusion at the end. Okay, perfect. So let's start. The first thing is to define what is the consumer behavior. Okay, so consumer behavior is defined as the actions and the decision of processes of people who purchase goods, services for personal consumption, according to Engel and Massard. Okay, perfect. So now we are going to start. Consumer buying behavior refers to the study of customers and how they behave while deciding to buy a product that satisfies their needs. It is a study of the actions of the consumer that drive them to buy and use certain products. So why is it important to study the consumer behavior? Because consumer behavior is buying behavior. It's the most important thing for marketers, as they can understand the expectation of the consumers. It helps to understand what makes the consumer to buy a product. It is important to assess the kind of products liked by consumers so that they can release to the market. Marketers also can understand the likes and the dislikes of consumers and design their marketing efforts based on these findings. So consumer behavior studies about the various situations such as what do consumers buy, why do they buy, when do they buy, how often do consumers buy, for what reason do they buy, and much more, we will see. So let's put an example. Consumer buying behavior is studied by consumer researchers, and their aim is to know why women buy moistures, for example, to reduce the skin problems. The most preferred brand is Olay by L'Oreal. How often do they apply it? Twice a day? Thrice a day? Where do women prefer to buy it? In supermarkets, online? And how many times do they buy it? It could be weekly, monthly, maybe 6 months, and a year, annually. So it's insightful to listen to some of the first cut opinions unbluckily of consumers and how they think about various brands and their expectations when it comes to electronic products and gadgets. Importance of consumer behavior, we'll see. So it's important to understand a consumer behavior, and is essential for a company to find success for its current products as well as a new product launch. Every consumer has a different thought process and attitude towards buying a particular product. If a company fails to understand the reaction of the consumer towards the product, there are highly chances of a product failure. So, due to this change in fashion, technology, trends, living style, disposable income, and similar other factors, consumer behavior also changes. So the marketer has to understand the factors that are changing so that the marketing efforts can be aligned accordingly. And we will see why this is so important. What is the importance of the consumer buying behavior? So first thing we will see to understand this question is the consumer differentiation. In marketing, consumer differentiation is a way to distinguish a consumer for several other consumers. This helps to make a target group of consumers with the same or similar behavior. We know what's the target. The target is a small group that will sell the product. Through you have target your customer demographic in your business, you can still have variations between individual consumers. Each group of consumers are different and their needs and wants differ from other groups. And when a marketing is knowledgeable about differentiation of each group of consumers, he can design separate marketing programs. So each of our target will have the same and similar behaviors, things that they like, that they don't like. So the consumer differentiation will help to tailor your strategies to the needs of varying consumer groups. When consumer differentiation is done, you can expand the width and breadth of your services or products. You will be able to efficiently serve a wider group of people. So it's one thing that why it's so important. Then we have the retention of our consumers. Consumer behavior, as we say, is most of importance to marketers in business, in the market, as the main aim is to create and retain customers. This is said by the professor Fyodor Levitt. And consumer behavior is not just important to attract new customers, but it is very important to retain the existing customers as well. When a customer is happy about a particular product, he or she will repeat the purchase. Therefore, marketing the product should be done in such a way that it will convince customers so they can buy the product again and again. The most important thing in marketing is to have a loyal consumer and they return with us to buy more. So this is very evident, and creating customer and retaining them is very important. This can be done only by understanding and paying attention towards the consumer buying behavior. Okay, perfect. So we know now what is the consumer behavior, why it's so important. Let's see how to design a relevant marketing. So to do a relevant marketing on consumer behavior, we need to understand consumer behavior, what allows you to create an effective marketing campaigns. Each campaign can speak specifically to the separate group of consumers based on their behavior. So as we see, the target market will be very important to know which target we are talking about. For example, while targeting kids market, you may have to look out of venues such as the TV, the school programs, and blogs targeting for young mothers. You will need to take different messages, approaches for different consumer groups. So we need to know very well to our customer. A study of consumer behavior enables the marketers to understand what motivates consumers to make purchases. Furthermore, the same motive can be utilized in advertising media to steer the desire to make a purchase. And moreover, marketers should take decisions regarding the brand logo, the coupons, the packaging, and gifts on the basis of consumer behavior. So now let's see how to predict the market trend. See if we have to have a new product, a new service, what the market is asking for. The consumer behavior analysis will be the first to indicate a shift in market. For example, the recent trend of customers is towards environment-friendly and healthy food. This changing market trend was observed by so many brands, including McDonald's. Based on the consumer behavior, McDonald's brought healthy food options, not just the regular hamburger and these fries that we know, the Coca-Cola. So they have salad, they have juice, we have natural water. By conducting consumer behavior study, a company saves a lot of resources that might otherwise be allocated to produce a product that will not be sold in the market. For example, in summer, a brand will not waste its resources for producing a product that will not sell in the summer. Based on the consumer's behavior, the company decides on production strategy, which will save on warehouse costs and marketing costs. So what about the competitions or competitors? This is also a very important thing in the marketing strategy and the behavior. One of the most important reasons to study the consumer behavior is to find out answers to some of the questions that we will see. So the first question to ask, is the consumer buying from your competitor? Yes, maybe you are the only option available in the market. Why is the consumer buying from your competitor? What does your competitor has that you don't have? What features attracts a consumer to your competitor products? And also it's important to ask, what gaps are your consumers identifying in your products when compared to your competitors? So if we know very well our competition, we'll be sure that we will have loyal customers. Studying the consumer behavior facilitates in understanding and facilitating competition. Based on consumer expectations, your brand can offer competitive advantage. So we will pass to another topic that it will be the innovative new products. Why is important our consumer behavior? We all know some of the big names such as New Coke, Crystal Pepsi, Colgate, Erin Magic Candle, and Wheaties, Dunkin' Ball cereal. Can you see the similarities in these products? Yes, they were failed in the market. The sad truth is the most new products and new ideas end up in failure. This is an estimate of new product failures. So for example, the range from the 30 to the 90% based in the kind of industry. So companies consistently strive hard to improve the success, the rate of their new products or the new ideas. One of the most important ways is to conduct sound and thoughtful consumer behavior study. So another thing why it's so relevant to do a consumer behavior study. With the help of consumers' behavior analysis, for example, Nike realized that most of its target audience is not professional athletes, but many of them were striving to be more like them. So that, for example, in the last Olympics, Nike introduced a campaign to encourage the athletics called Find Your Greatness. It aimed to promote the aspirations of being an athlete, not just with high-performance athletes, but wanted to include all people regardless of their physical capability. The campaign was well planned and was data-driven, of course, carefully analyzed before taking any action. This message inspired many consumers and had enormous appeal for the target consumers. So an effective ad campaign with a big campaign like Nike, it was successful because of the consumer behavior. Another tip is to stay relevant in the market. When the world is changing as rapidly as it's happening today, the biggest challenge we all face is staying relevant to our target. in our market. And you don't know what is the main reason behind the rapid changes. It is the ever-changing behavior of our customers. A perfect example of this would be the COVID-19, all or the consumer behavior change from traditional stores to many of e-commerce stores and online websites and apps. Today, consumers have a great choices and opportunities, which means that they can easily switch to a company that offers better products and services. That's why we need to know very well our competitors. The preeminent skill required to ship ahead in the 21st century is the ability to see in size. This is said by Adamson and Sketchell. So losing relevance will only cost the company its market share. Haven't we seen Sony Walkman failing to stay relevant in the digital music era? And the taxi industry done with no preparedness to battle to the Uber uprise. So it's change of behavior again of the market and the consumers. So how can we improve our customer service? Consumers require different levels of consumer service, and understanding the difference within your consumer base will help you to provide the most appropriate service for individual needs. So let's see an example of this part. If you own an electronic store, high school or college students who buy a new laptop are more likely to understand the features they are looking for a person buying his first computer. With the first demographic, your service goal will be to provide information about the latest trends in the technology. While with the second demographic, you will need to spend more time educating the customer, finding out what is the specific needs of your consumer, and even teaching him how to use the features of his new electronic device. So in electronic, we need to teach so they can use all the features that our new computer or electronic device can be used for. So as a conclusion, we know that leading companies such as the example of Nike, another example is Coca-Cola company, the Bank of Barclays, have constantly improved its existing products and focus on developing new products. The Coca-Cola company aligns its corporate strategy of refreshing everyone who is touched by your business. By conducting a market research to identify consumer behavior, similarly to Barclays conducted consumer behavior study, to better understand the needs of this target market. So the competitors don't have our clients, and we have more sales and more loyal customers. So consumer behavior analysis has emerged as an important tool to understand your customers by looking into the consumer psychology and the forces behind consumer buying behavior. Companies can craft new products, marketing campaigns, and increase profitability, as we see, increase our sales. So in general, companies should talk to customers, watch out the frustrations of the customers, and most importantly, identify their needs and expectations. So again, we have loyal customers and the customers stay with us, don't go with the competitions. So that's all for today. Thank you very much for your attention.